Hello, everybody. This is a Lamley Showcase. A Lamley Showcase. Filling up a Lamley Showcase. This is the new office. Still a ton of work to do. I've got my Carney Displays over here. I have my, excuse the light, my Carney Displays over here. I'll do a full tour of this later because actually this is, and I got all this glare and stuff. We'll worry about that. But you can see the gap there. That's got to be filled. This wall actually over here is going to get 2 more Carney cases. And we're going to be doing, I'll kind of walk through this. This is going to be car culture themed, Hot Wheels premium theme. That's what car culture is all here. This we'll talk about in just a second. And then this wall, still some work to do, but we're going to be putting smaller Carney cases. There's that one right there. I've got a few more of those coming. I don't know when they'll be here, in a few weeks. Carney Displays, there's actually a link in the description below because I get questions about my wall displays all the time. The white ones like this, they don't do anymore, but these, the white back, these are the ones I love. Like I said, 2 more coming over here. And but I get questions about it all the time. There's a link down below to Carney. They're fantastic. They're based and they manufacture everything here in the United States, and they do some amazing stuff. There's some of my collection in storage, right? Well, storage, you know what I mean. Nonetheless, this is an RLC display. That's what this one is dedicated to. And there are the models. I've got to put these in, and then I have a few gaps. I was timing these out. Well, anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and start because I'm not even going to talk about these cars. Maybe I will a little bit. But I have more RLC cars, but I have these roughly in order of release. It's not perfect, but some of these go back to 2000, I mean, maybe even pre-2010. Like these might be 2008, 2009. I'm not sure. But I went on and did some research to kind of figure out the timing on these and, you know, when they were released. You know, some of these are quite valuable. Let's just make sure I don't drop them. Thankfully, there's carpet if I do. But yeah, I've wanted to fill some. People want to, you know, I guess I have to do it my way, but people have wanted to see videos of what I do. So the way I'm doing this is like, I decided I would do an RLC display. I've done this before in my old office. And I went through and I kind of decided on the cars that I actually like really want to display. The others I'll keep, but there's things like there's the Golf 993 that I wouldn't consider part of this. I'm going to keep them in their acrylic case. But these, you know, they've been either ripped open. Some of these were in acrylic cases, but anyway, I just have, I don't know, you know, we all have our own rules, right, for how we display. But all of these cars, I think, are very deserving of a spot on my wall display. And so that's what I'm doing. And yeah, there's a lot of value here, but, you know, some of these I've showcased, some of these I haven't. But these are all cars that I legitimately am a fan of. And what you'll notice is the later we get into RLC, the more often the car gets displayed. And that's because, you know, RLC's evolved in a way that I think has been more like when RLC first started, you know, it's always been about this nice Spectre Flame paint. And obviously, look at these. I mean, there's fantastic cars here. But I think if you look back at some of the originals way back when, and RLC's been around for a few years now, obviously maybe a couple decades, but it was more about aimed at like that kind of nostalgic retro Hot Wheels fan who really liked Neo wheels. Realism wasn't really licensed castings. It was just more classic, you know, speaking of classic, more classic castings and things like that. But since, you know, since the last, well, Brendan Vituski took over, we've seen more cars like this Corvette. And a lot of the RLC too, actually, you know, before I get ahead of myself, were basic or premium models that were then, you know, colored in Spectre Flame. Like, in fact, if I look at all of these, like here's the BRE, you know, to match the 510, here's the 240Z. I mean, I think that might have been premium, but that started as a basic, that started as a basic, that started as a modern classics, but that started as like maybe a premium, but I mean a basic. Well, that was for RLC, so was that. Well, okay, so now, but this one started as a basic. This one was a basic. I mean, anyway, You can go through here, obviously the Corvette, I'm sorry, or the Camaro. Gasser was a basic, but you know, they were basic models, moved to premium, and then given full premium treatment with RLC. Some don't get Spectre Flame like the Toyota, but you know, most of them did. And so you see now what happens is like where RLC was like, there was these kind of like basic vintage nostalgic castings. You started seeing an evolution of some of these premium castings and getting like licensed castings. And obviously this became more and more popular. The Gasser was a big deal during this era. The 55 Bel Air. This is a fabulous one. The funny car Charger. Anyway, and you started seeing like some of these originals start becoming like more licensed vehicles. And then Brendan Vituski took over. And I think the idea, it wasn't just a Brendan idea, but I think there was just an idea that we need to make RLC, you know, still keep it with the Spectre Flame paint, which is, you know, definitively Hot Wheels. But maybe we need to be doing more realistic castings that the modern collector is more interested in. And so now we've seen, and we'll get to that, but we've seen, you know, like this, the Z opening hood, you're getting these kind of more advanced parts. It's not just about the Spectre Flame paint. It'd be very rare for a car now that has been released as a basic to now move over to premium. Here's the Spectre Flame Magnus Walker Porsche, and we know that he wanted to see a realistic one, so we got that one a little bit later in color-wise. But so I think that we're now into the Brendan Vituski era with these castings. And, you know, this one isn't, but even the Gasser, they did convert, like the Bel Air or the Candy Stripers, the old basic casting. This one was one converted for RLC, just a little bit more detail. And they saw that with a lot. I mean, the 510 got an opening hood. This 240Z got an opening hood. That's the color changer. Here's the non-Spectre Flame Magnus Porsche. This one started as a basic. We've seen this a couple times as the Honda S2000, but that remains the casting. But you start seeing this happen less and less and less. Like the R34 was a basic. This is essentially the same model, but it's now, you know, opening hood, spoiler changed, brake calipers put in. There's an SL. I know what I'm talking about, but you know, it really does change. Now, of course, I'm not showing a real. The only way my collection and this display reflects the evolution of the RLC is just that there's just very few older ones. I mean, in between these, I mean, you're talking possibly entire years. Like, there's entire years that I've skipped. Spectre Flame, R34, love the membership. That's one of my all-time favorite RLCs right there. Of course, this one is very popular. The RWB, we finally get a second one of those coming out soon. This Lamborghini Countach I really dig with spoiler. This black one is probably my favorite of those. Anyway, yeah, entire year skipped. And then as we go, now we start seeing, like, it's very rare for me to skip a model in this display, right? So that's kind of how it works. BMW, a few issues with the hood on this one has been documented, but it still is a fabulous casting. I'm opening the red one later on in this video because I would like to see how that one works. This one is fabulous because has opening doors, but there's two different engines for that one. The lowrider, unique wheels for that. You'll see some, if you start thinking through, you'll see that there are some castings that aren't on here, and they're just the castings that I'm just not that interested in. For example, I've never really been into that C10. I like the technology of the C10, how you can lift it and lower it. The problem is it just doesn't look like a Hot Wheels to me, and so I like it, but you know, just that's my own preference. The wheels are unique to that. I know the lowriders like that too, but it just doesn't have a Hot Wheels vibe to me. And one of the things I like about Hot Wheels is that they're Hot Wheels. So I like the Elite line, but I like the RLC better because these share some Hot Wheels traits. The castings are definitively Hot Wheels. They might have some more advanced things. I love this one. But they have real riders on them. They have Hot Wheels real riders on them. They're usually borrowed from premium lines. And that's a good connector to me. Like the Elite are nice models, but you know, that's, I would compare Elite to Mini GT, and and not Hot Wheels, like some people do, and they say, well, why would you go to RLC when you can have Mini GT? Well, the idea is like, no, I mean, these are advanced Hot Wheels. These are not here to compete with Mini GT and other brands, because they are like the coolest definitive versions of Hot Wheels. Elite 6.4, I don't consider Hot Wheels per se. I feel like they're a nice product from Mattel and under the Hot Wheels brand. But I think it makes more sense to compare those to like a Mini GT. These are kind of their own thing, and I really dig them. And that's why I can really be a fan of like RLC, and also be a fan of Mini GT, of which finally they're going to get some wall space too in my new office. Here's the RLC, or I'm sorry, yeah, the RLC tribute to Ryu Asada S2000. Obviously there's the NSX we'll get to in just a second too. Right there. R34 with the Ghost. 454, very popular amongst, well, everyone. It's just a really, really good casting. I like this one too. Like the Orange Crush I didn't put on here, but I really like the Spectre Flame Blue. So I tried to be somewhat selective. It's very hard because all of these castings are great. And I just kind of go with like what just gets me excited. And these 32 Fords both do, the two different 32 Fords with two different engines. Lamborghini's kind of a no-brainer. I've never been a real fan of like VW Bugs, but I dig this one for sure. The Cowabunga. But there was like the green one I don't have on here, but I think the other ones I do. Bronco, we've only seen this one once. This remains a one-hit wonder. Some of these RLCs are, right? The RWB was for a while. We're finally getting that one back. Have the second one of this van coming, which the Dodge van, right? Is it the Statesman? I'm trying to remember, of course. The Nova's everywhere on this, and I like the casting so much that I don't know if there's any I haven't included. And maybe there are a couple that I left out. Tootsie Roll I left out. Anyway. Oh, and there's the blue one coming. I think it's on. Oh, did the blue one not make it? I thought it did. Oh, sorry. It's the one I just put up. How dumb is that? All right, see it's right there. Lamborghini. Mustang, Cobra. I love this one. This is the membership model. Another lowrider, the Monte Carlo. I think, the Impala is the definitive lowrider, but I think I'm partial to the Monte Carlo more. Jag, I only think we've seen once, right? I can't think of another one in that forest green. Don't call it British Racing green. Pink R34. Really like that one. Hype and all. 959. Got another one I got to open up. We're already 5 959s in. We'll talk about more of that in a little bit. Camaro. Really like the Pro Stock Camaro. I think they call that one under 69, but the Pro Stock is this green one, which is another one of like really high up on my list. Here's the Ryu Asada. I think I need to charge it because I'd have to turn it off and on, and I think, yeah, got to charge it. That's okay. It's on display. Second BMW, E30, M3, the other 959, and I think these are in order. I mean, maybe not in exact order of release, but in the year they're supposed to be in. We'll be talking the Integra again. I love the white on white. It's going to get hidden way up there, though. The other Magnus Porsche. Of all these, the non-Spectre Flame, the Spectre Flame, I think I like this green one the best. Right up there. The poor AMC Javelin. I love this car so much. We've talked enough. We've had enough fights. You guys and me, we've had enough fights. You guys, I won't say you guys because I know there's plenty of people who love it, but I love it. A lot of you hate it. We won't have that fight, but that one definitely goes in display because I'm such a big fan of it. The Street Freak. There's the Advan Skyline. You give me the Advan Skyline or the Javelin. I think in this case I take the Javelin, but whatever. Selection Skyline. Have those back to back. I don't know if that's correct or not. Another one-hit wonder. Wonder if we'll see the G-Wagon again. Kind of underrated casting. pink Mustang is fabulous. And then the final two that I haven't, oh, these are what I haven't opened, and is the Pagani and the color changing Skyline. So here's what we're going to do. That is my display. You can see it goes up to, there's some gaps here that I got to fill. Cars I just haven't opened, which we're going to do right now. And then the latest release, I think, is the Ferrari. So I have the two Ferraris there. So these are open to be filled. And I think, you know, it'll take the rest of the year to fill those. And then, of course, I'll figure out if I'm going to move. But that's the other thing here. So this is the RLC display for now. Right now, I have my favorite convention models in there. All right, let me open this up. These are the convention cars, mostly from the Hot Wheels convention, but there's Japan as well represented. And these are the ones that I felt deserved, from the ones that I like the most, that deserved a spot on the display, which actually leaves quite a gap. So I got to figure this out. I don't know if these are going to stay exactly there, or maybe they'll go down to this one. I have to figure that out, but for now, that's where they are. I might fill this with Boulevard or something else. I got a lot of decisions to make, but nonetheless, I wanted to figure out which ones I wanted to display, which leaves us with this mess. I've got 3 convention models that I want to open. I've got some RLC that I need to open. So we are going to do that and fill in those gaps and get this collection up to date. All right, let's open some stuff. It's actually, I think, like 2 or 3 weeks later since I filmed the loading up of that display. Some more things have happened. I added Boulevard, still thinking, I'm not sure that's going to stay. Some Fast and Furious, I don't know if that's going to stay. I took out a Moon Eyes to sell in a Whatnot show for my daughter, so I've got to figure out what to put there. Maybe I'll see if I have another Moon Eyes to put in there from the convention. I have those 3 slots, and I have 7 slots to add before the Ferraris, and so that's what we're going to do. We're going to open up these convention models, we're going to open up these RLC models, and I've gotten a few things. So let's just get right to it. We can do the convention models first. Let me move this back. Still getting used to how I want to film here in the office, but we'll figure it out. So this is the 1964 Dodge Power Wagon. We'll go ahead and put these on the turntable and then put them in the slot for sure. One of 4,000. What's the number on this one? 3599. You know, these are back from it already seems that long ago, St. Louis, and this was the finale model, the Dodge Power Wagon. I think this is pretty. Oh, I always was going to open from the bottom, and I didn't do that. Oh well, I got to get used to doing this again. To open these things up. There we go. Get a little bit more clear, cool chrome look on this one. Opening hood. There's some details there that are pretty fabulous. Does the tail open? No, it doesn't open. But really, really cool model. And this one will go, and this one obviously has, as Brendan Viteski talks about, this one has, like, you know, a proper base on this one, a proper chassis. Axles are proper as opposed to being a big glob of metal, which they can do for RLC, and I think that is really, really cool. So that's that one. So these are the convention models. I'm not opening the dinner model because I only have one of those and I want to keep it carded. This is the Corvette C8R. Some of these have been met with, you know, there's been a mixed opinion about some of these. I guess, you know, some people like, they don't seem special enough. They seem just more like premium cars. I guess I understand that argument, but these don't necessarily have to have, you know, they're convention cars. They're just, I hope they look good. This one looks really good in orange with this top stripe. I just think it's really fabulous. Much, much better than the basic C8 casting for sure. And I love the big spoiler on it. I like the orange axle on this one to match the body. I just don't know if these have to look like, you know, it's nice to do something special. But they're just special models in general, no matter how they look. I mean, they want to look good, and I think this one looks good, but I think some people think, oh, it just has to be a little bit more involved. Well, this one is the same thing, and I just think it's awesome. I mean, you know, it's very easy for, this is obviously the Nissan 240SX, the S14. It's very easy to do a, you know, a yellow R34 Skyline, yet they didn't, and that thing's going for $1 gajillion. So, I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of factors that make something special, and if someone wants it, they want, you know, Spectraflame paint, and Hot Wheels reserves that for the RLC. And so typically they'll do they've done some Spectraflame on occasion, but I mean, this model's fabulous. The wheels really pop on this one, and I really like the jet black. Kind of matches the Porsche from a couple years ago from Columbus, Ohio. You know, just that jet black. I think this thing is awesome. Really happy to finally have it open. All right, so there's those. In fact, we can go ahead and put them into the well, I guess I can, before I do that, I can also open this one. I actually always lump it in with the Hot Wheels RLC cars in my display, and I really do like the 1969 Dodge Charger RT. Obviously, they sold these on Mattel Creations as well. There we go. That's the fun of opening. So here it is on the turntable. I love the Spectraflame pink. It almost turns orange in certain light. There's the Helifont engine. Notice how it looks orange as I go up close. Has kind of a Dukes of Hazzard vibe, and then you move it away. And well, I guess in the slide it still does look kind of orange, but then there's the pink highlights as it's reflected. Kind of interesting, huh? It's a really nice paint. Put these off to the side. Now, I've got quite a few RLC to open, and so let's just get right to it. This one came out a while ago, Porsche 959. How many colors? The Golf has already been released since this one in this kind of metallic blue. The Golf is nice, but I'm actually quite fond of this one. I actually am not including the Golf because I feel like it's part of this in the wall displays, and I'm going to, I don't know, some of these come in these cases, but you know, they're so included with the 993 and the Ford Raptor and the Datsun 510, and they almost look good just on their own that way in their acrylic cases. So I'm keeping them all in their acrylic cases. This color is amazing. There's the engine. We'll go ahead and put it on the turntable. Red one was nice. Black one was nice. I like this one the best. I just like the color on this one. I don't know how real, I mean, Spectraflame is not a realistic paint, but I don't know how, you know, if a dark blue with black rims was a color, but I do like for the 959. But I really do like this one. It's a really nice casting. There's the yellow convention one too. Was this from last year, the BMW? I can't remember. I'm going to just put them in the slots in the Carney Displays, and maybe figure out I try and do it by release. The ones I want by release. 2006 BMW M3. We've seen quite a few versions of this casting. This is very different. Christina did this one in this kind of, I wouldn't say a street race livery. She had a whole story behind this livery, because you get the Spectraflame red, but you also get the M detailing. I guess you know what the key is. Can this close? Oh, it does close nicely. There's the engine, which, look at the colors on that. That looks awesome. This one has had issues in the past closing, and look, that's clean. I think that's the best hood close of this casting so far. So some people don't like this deco. I do. I love the wheels. But I'll give this one total props because the paint's not too thick and the hood actually closes. And I know it's not great that is the level we're working at with this one because it's such a nice casting, but ultimately, yeah, you want to have the paint thin enough so that the hood closes. So there you go. All right. One other one, at least so far, to open out of the card. This is the membership model. Oh, there's tape on it. Never seen that before. Maybe because of the membership pin. Yeah, and the patch right there. Acura. Is this an Acura Integra or Honda? 95 Honda Integra Type R. This is the first time, right, that it's gone Spectraflame. We had white, then we had yellow. Now we have this beautiful Spectraflame blue. I think they were considering putting 10 spokes on it, but they ended up putting the 6 spokes. Let's open this one up. No number on this one. There we go. Here it is in Spectraflame blue, and it is pretty. You got the Type R on the side, logo on the side, Spectre Flame blue. Here's the engine. Okay, engine closing test. Oh, that's nice. Nice big click. Yeah, this one's nice. There's just something about Spectre Flame. It's not necessarily realistic, but us we Hot Wheels fans like the Spectre Flame. And this does look good with Spectre Flame. All right, there's that. This one I think is the oldest one I haven't opened. It's the blue Pagani Huayra. There was the gunmetal gray, and I never opened the blue, which is kind of crazy. So I'm still debating. You guys can tell me what you think. I mean, ultimately it's what I decide to do, but you know, Hot Wheels cars or RLC cars tend to come, a lot of them come in acrylic cases now, and I do like the acrylic, but I like having them displayed. So I'm going to display this one for now, but I don't need to unscrew it. It has that little, well, no, I do have to. Yeah, there's screws in there, but it's held in place because it has this removable piece here, and there's the engine. Boy, this blue, does it match the Honda? A little different. Not as bright as the Honda. All right, let's see if we can't. This one has the nice mirrors on it too. Let's see if we can't unscrew this one. All right, take these little pieces, throw them in here so they don't get lost. Close that up. Put those over here. And put this thing on the turntable. Beautiful color. Carbon fiber roof looks amazing. The gunmetal gray is great, but when you get this Spectre Flame blue and then they've highlighted the wheels with this blue as well, I think this is the better looking of the two of them. Pagani just looks so good with those mirrors. I mean, like when you can do it in a casting with those mirrors, and they've done it that soft plastic so they don't just pop off if something goes awry. Love the rear portion of this. And of course there's the removable piece. That's fabulous. What a cool model. Beautiful. Ron designed it. Who designed this one? Was this Brendan? Did he get help from Rob or Dwayne? I can't remember, but Lamborghini. Mura P400 SV. I am sure I'm making a mess. Does this one have screws? Yes, it does. We've already seen these, so I don't really need to like totally give them a showcase. Ooh. Let's hope that look how kind of beat up that is. Not beat up, but it's not sitting flush. Do you see that? Well, let's just see what happens. It's really cool how it opens. It's almost fun to display it that way. There we go. Well, I don't know. Let's get it off the wheels are amazing. I mean, it's really good. But look at that. Well, let's get it unscrewed and see what happens. See, this is sometimes I've said this about Matchbox. I think moving parts are great for Matchbox to separate from Hot Wheels, branding-wise. I think it's a very cool feature for RLC cars, for sure. But I myself could care less. I just want the car to look cool. I don't really care about the moving parts. But that's me, and I understand others, you know, so I'm just speaking to preference. But one of the issues is that sometimes, while all the intentions are good, and maybe in a future model this will look good, but that, yeah. And I'd have to, I bought two. I'd have to look at the other one, but I've got it away. See, that's a problem. Maybe I can try and force it. Because it sits flush when, I mean, it looks good when it's sitting flush. But you can tell in this up close, and I apologize for having my finger so close up to the screen, but I've got it kind of lodged in there, but wedged. But I mean, it's so cool. Let's put it on the turntable. Wheels are great. The way they sit is great. Yeah, I've got that really forced down. Maybe that'll stick because it's really, really cool. It's a great, great color. All right, 2 more. I do like the boxes that they've started to use. Okay, this is a carded one. Ah, yeah. $4.54. No complaints about this one. Teal color's great. Still love the black the most. There's been one convention model. There's been the red RLC, so this is the 3rd RLC plus the silver convention model. Great, great deco, great color. Absolutely love this one. No number on it. Oh, that's so great. Opening hood. Oh, that's really pretty. Just the color pops. Those of you who already have opened it, which is probably most of you, already know it's really, really nice. And I love this one. Really like the 5-spoke Real Riders on this one. The 5-spoke are kind of a classic muscle. Real Rider, that looks good. Last but not least, I believe this is probably the Mercedes. So let's open this up. Try to keep the label over. See, this is great packaging. Mercedes-Benz 600. I've been so excited about this one. I could probably give it its own feature. Opening doors. And this will be another one that it's going to be really key. You know, it's quite a feat that Brendan has designed a model that has 4 opening doors. The key, of course, is how is it executed? The design's amazing, but how is it executed? Oh, it's so pretty. I do love packaging like this. I would love all the cars to come like this, where you can just pull them out, put them back in. Okay, so chassis is fabulous, metal chassis. Just the way this sits. This is a top model for me. And you know what? Let's just start right here. If I told you these doors open, or if I didn't tell you the doors open, I don't think you would think they do. That looks like it's just a normal casting with the door outline designed into the casting. Wow, that is just a stunner. Interior is amazing. Okay, now let's just open the doors and see if they close well. There we go. Look at that interior. Yep, that's living the life, huh? Those doors, that's really a feat. And in this case, different from the Lamborghini. That is something. Once again, totally flush. Okay, well, let's get these on the display. Well, let's get it on the turntable first, actually. Color's amazing. Wheels are perfect. Stance is exceptional. Execution of the model, and the fact that these open and it sits flush, I'm just so impressed. So impressed. This is a Model of the Year candidate in so many ways. And I wonder, I have not been seeing what people have been saying about this as they've been getting it. I am so impressed. I love this. All right. We got to display these. All right. So, well, let's get over to the display. All right. Lighting isn't perfect, but let's just go ahead and get these displays filled. We'll start with the convention models. Again, sorry for the squeak. Finale goes right there. We will take the Corvette right there. Still don't know what I'm going to do with that moon eyes. And then there we go with the 280SX snare. Is that right? Anyway, the S13. So there it is. Those are the convention models plus Boulevard. Like I said, that may change. Sorry for the squeak. Now let's fill this in. All right, so I think the 959 will go right there by the Supra. Again, it may not be perfect. There's the other Power Wagon. There's the Mustang. Already opened those. The Pagani. Looking good. BMW, like I said, may not be in order, but that goes there. Already opened the Audi. Lamborghini. Well, from there it looks pretty good, right? Because I've got it pushed down. Acura or Honda. So there's blue. There's yellow. Way up there's white. Still like the white the best, but that Spectraflame blue, I think, oh, they're all good. Dodge Charger. Oop. Try and reach way up there. That goes there. There's the Camaro. I don't have all the pinks here. There's a couple. I don't remember if this one came before the, but I always try and do it in terms of when they arrived. But there's the truck. Ferraris, maybe the Ferraris go up one and that truck goes down. We'll worry about that later. And last but not least, hope this fits. It's long, but this was, oh, barely. But it fits. This is my favorite. Yep, it fits. Barely fits, but it fits. That's a good little duo right there. All right, there you go. RLC is going to stay. I'll tell you, I can't remember if I talked about this already, but I am putting up 2 more of these full-size Carney displays. Remember, you can go down into the comments to follow a link to these because they're fabulous. And then 3 smaller ones. Mini GT is going to get some space. Tomica Limited Vintage, and I'm still going to figure it out. This may change, but ultimately this will be the way the RLC display looks. Still a little bit to fill in, but we'll figure it out. You guys tell me what you think. We might be doing more. Still a lot of organizing to do. Thanks, everybody. Bye.